So here we are at the beginning of turn 1. The commandos are going to go, and the first thing you do on your turn is you look at the timer track and you will advance the time tracker by 1. But on the first turn, you actually don't do that. So we won't be doing that this turn, which is turn number 1. The next part of the turn is to transfer the adrenaline that the commandos have used during their turn over to the overseer player, but being the first turn, there's no adrenaline to transfer. And I should mention the overseer starts with 6 adrenaline at the beginning of the game. It's basically 2 adrenaline per commando character, so he starts with 6. But we won't be transferring any adrenaline right now because the commandos haven't spent it. The next part of the turn for the commandos is they must assign initiative. Now, there's an initiative rank in the game, and team leader, I believe, then it's rifleman, the heavy. Anyway, there's an order. So if you were playing this game with multiple people playing the commandos, the one at the highest level of the food chain would decide in which order the commandos are going to take their turn. But since I'm playing all 3 commandos, it doesn't really matter. If you have one player playing all commandos, that's not as important. So basically what I'm going to do is I use little dice here. I'll just use a 1, 2, 3 on the dice to designate who goes first, second, and third. And I'm going to have the reconnaissance specialist, I'll just put a 1 on him, go first. Then I'm going to have the rifleman take his turn second. And lastly, I will have the team leader take his turn, so I'll put the 3 with him. The next thing we need to do is pick a stance. Now there are 3 stances for each character. So for the reconnaissance specialist, I think we're going to start off with cautious advance. Now that will give him 6 adrenaline to spend. And it says after you are attacked, you can increase your adrenaline by 1 to move up to 2 spaces. You can boost a stat change or challenge roll twice. And you can boost a stat challenge if you want. If there's a door you need to unlock, you can use 1 adrenaline to add 1 black dice to your roll. So I'm going to have him begin with cautious advance. Now for the rifleman, he also has 3 as cautious advance, prone, and double time. I think we're all going to be cautious this turn. It gives us the most amount of adrenaline to use. However, I think with the team leader, I think the stance I'm going to use for him, he's got cautious advance, commanding, and reckless advance, is I think I will use commanding for him. And what that allows him to do, it says, you and all other commandos within a 5-space aura of you gain an additional black die for attacks this round. And you cannot be attacked by an enemy while you're adjacent to another active commando. So we're going to have him do that. Now it only gives him a 5 adrenaline to use. So those will be the stances I'm picking, and next we'll be on to them actually taking their turns in order. So here we are beginning, and the reconnaissance specialist goes first. He is right here, and he is going to open this door. Now to open a door, it's going to cost, it's one of the actions, it will cost 1 adrenaline. So I'll place that on his player card. He can spend a total of 6 adrenaline. So basically he opens the door. We flip over the tile, and we see that this door is unlocked. So we leave the door token in place, and we now, because this room has been exposed, we will look at the room cards. Let's see if I cannot destroy the playing surface. We look at the room cards, and we see what we have. Oh wow, this is not good. Now they have a priority on the bottom of them. You would do the cards in priority order. So it looks like we have 2 cards, and it says Recon Patrol and a Fire Team. And basically these are just spawn cards, but they don't, there's a difference between spawning and them already being in the room. If aliens spawn, they are considered to have moved. And if you open a door and they are in the room, they have not moved yet, and that will play some part, depending on the stance of certain cards for stance cards for the commandos. So basically, I need to spawn 2 rogue clones and a warrior clone for this one, and I need to spawn 3 warrior clones for this one. So we're going to end up with a total of 4 warrior clones and 2 rogue clones. So we will gather the pile of miniatures here, and here they are. There's lots. Now you have to decide where you want them to be in the room, and they can't be on top of the space. They have to be in the room space. So I think I'm going to say the couple of warriors, they're the ones with the coil guns, are going to be back near that door. I'm also going to I'm going to have them scattered kind of around the room. Another couple here. These are the warrior ones with the little coil guns. They have ranged attacks. And now for the melee guys, the little rogue clones, I'm going to have them kind of on either side of the door here. So basically our reconnaissance commando opened the door, and inside the room are 6 alien figures. Now there are little, I painted black on the facing markings of the units so we can see what their facing is, because that's plays an important role sometimes during especially line of sight and attacks. So now that was only 1 adrenaline of a total of 6 that the reconnaissance specialist can spend to open that door, and so now we'll continue with the rest of his turn. So now to continue the reconnaissance specialist move, I'm going to use the Trailblazer. It's one of his kit abilities, and it says once during each of your turns you can take a move action without increasing your adrenaline. So he's going to do that right now, and he can move 3 spaces with using cautious advanced stance. So I'm going to have him go 1, 2, and he's going to move diagonally once, and he's going to face this alien. Now with movement during your entire turn, you can only go diagonally once. So that will, next time if he wants to move, he cannot move in any diagonal direction. He's going to have to go straight across the grid. So basically that was his free move action. He didn't have to spend any adrenaline. Now it costs 2 adrenaline to actually perform an attack. So I'm going to have him attack the rogue clone. So we're going to take 2 more adrenaline, and we're going to put that onto his character card. So now he has a 3 adrenaline of a total of 6, and he's going to use his melee weapon to attack. And his hunting knife, he gets to use 2 red dice and 2 black dice. And his speed is not 4 or higher, so he won't be adding an additional die. However, the commander, our team leader, has the commanding ability, and it says any other commando within a 5-space aura will gain an additional black dice for his attack. So our team leader is right here. So if we look at his aura, 1, 2, 3, 4, he is within 4 spaces, so he will get that bonus. So I haven't talked about the dice yet in the game. So he's going to have, and the dice are actually quite nice in this game. They're all etched in with the little blast icons on them. The red dice hit more often than the black. They have only 1 blank side. The blacks have 2. So for this combat, he's going to get the 2 red dice for his knife, the 2 black dice, which is his combat knife, and the +1 black die for the team leader's commanding ability. Now the rogue drone's defense on melee, you can see here, is a 4. So basically I need 4 hits to actually kill the drone, and the clone. And if you look at his little heartbeat symbol at the top, it's a 1. So he basically takes 1 hit and he's killed. So I'm going to roll the dice, and we're going to see if our reconnaissance specialist can take that guy down. And we actually have 1, and this is a double hit symbol. I don't know if you can see that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he hit 5 times, and the clone's defense is 4. So whoop, this guy is removed. He has been slain by a reconnaissance specialist. Now, our reconnaissance specialist has 3 more adrenaline he can spend, and you can see that you've got to kind of figure out when and how much adrenaline to spend. So I think I'm going to actually have him perform 1 more attack. So during an attack action, he's going to use range this time. Also, it costs 2 adrenaline. So there they are. Now he's up to 5 adrenaline on his card. He's going to shoot straight ahead at one of these warrior clones. And he's only 1, 2, 3 spaces away, and his P100 burst fire weapon has a range of 5. So he gets 1 red dice, 3 black dice, plus the bonus black dice from the team leader. So he'll end up firing 1 red and 4 black. So this time we have 1 red and 4 black. And the warrior clone's defense on ranged is an only 3. So we just need 3 hits. So let's see what we get. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4. So our reconnaissance specialist blows away this warrior clone. So far so good. He has 1 adrenaline left. I'm not going to spend it because if you used up all your adrenaline to the maximum and you get attacked by one of the clones, they actually get to add bonus dice while they attack you if you're at full adrenaline. So it's going to be the end of the reconnaissance specialist move. So next we will be looking at our second commando, and that will be in number 2 spot is the Rifleman. So he's the guy with the big pack right here. So let's see what he's going to do. He's right here. And the first thing I'm going to have him do is I'm going to have him spend 2 adrenaline. You see the adrenaline cost on the lower right. To deploy the sentry drone. Now he gets to do this twice during the mission, so if he has 2 sentry drones destroyed, he will not be able to deploy anymore. So it basically says, as an action, which he's doing now for 2 adrenaline, place the sentry drone adjacent to you. You can only have 1 sentry drone on the map at a time. You can use this action twice during a mission. Refer to the sentry drone card for the stats and rules. So basically, we will take the 2 adrenaline. We will put that on the Rifleman's card. He has a total adrenaline to spend of 6 this turn as well with the cautious advance card. And we get to place this really cool little autonomous sentry drone adjacent to him. So I'm going to put it here. Now let's take a look at the sentry drone's card. He basically has a movement of 4, a ranged defense of 5, and a melee defense of 3. It says during your turn, which is now, the drone can, now this is a drone, here we go, can perform 2 of the following actions. It can move, attack, or guard. So it can move, it can attack, it can attack and guard. Basically a guarding drone can make 1 attack during the overseer phase when an enemy moves into its line of sight. Now it does not have an arrow anywhere on its base, so its line of sight is 360 degrees. So it has like a little iMac camera lens on top of its head, so it can see in all directions. So anything that gets into its line of sight is fair game for shooting. And its gun is pretty powerful. It has a range of 8. It can roll 3 black dice and 2 red. Now the commando's team leader ability is not going to affect the drone. It's not because the team leader's commando's commanding ability specifically says other commandos, and the sentry drone is not a commando. It is an autonomous little robot. So that is cost 2 adrenaline. Now I'm going to actually use the sentry drone's 2 actions right now. I'm going to have it move, and it can move a total of 4 spaces. So I'm going to have it go 1, 2, 3, and I'll just turn it this way. It doesn't really matter, but the gun is pointing that way, so it looks better. I'm going to have him shoot at actually this one right here, and he's other figures do not block line of sight for shooting. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 spaces. He is not in any cover of any sort, and neither does this clone block line of sight to be able for the sentry gun to shoot at this guy. So like I mentioned, the sentry drone has 2 red dice and 3 black dice. So we'll gather up the dice and we'll see if the sentry drone can take down this warrior clone. And he gets a total of 1, 2, 3 hits, and that's just enough to beat the 3 ranged defense of the warrior clone, and boom, this guy is mowed down by our little sentry gun. And that's all the sentry drone can do this turn. It's performed its actions. So now we're back to the Rifleman. He still has 4 adrenaline to spend. So in keeping with trying to get rid of as many of these clones as possible, I'm going to move him, which is a 1 adrenaline cost to move. Put that on his card. He has a movement of 2. I'm going to have him go 1, 2, and he's going to face this way. Now line of sight goes diagonally from the corner, so he can see everything this way and everything this way. So these 2 are actually in his line of sight. This one is not. because he is facing this way. Now I'm going to have him do an attack, and he's going to attack this warrior clone here, and he's actually 1 2 3 1 2 3, and he does, and his line of sight for this particular clone does not go through any of the red squares, which would then give him partial cover. So this one has no cover as a rifleman shoots at him. Now the rifleman has the M501, which is 4 black dice normally, but against clones he rolls 4 red dice. So that's a pretty good, and he'll get the +1 bonus from the team leader as well. So we put 2 adrenaline on his card. Up now he has a total of 5 of his 6 that he can spend, and he is firing at this guy. So he's going to use 4 red dice and 1 black, and he needs 3 hits to take out this warrior clone. And he's got 1 2 3 4 hits, more than enough to blow this guy away. So boom, off he goes the board. The rifleman takes him down. Now I'm going to leave the rifleman with 1 adrenaline left to spend, so that if he gets attacked, he will not, the clones will not get the bonus attack dice on him. So that's the end of the rifleman's turn, and now we're on to the team leader. So now it's the team leader's turn, and the first thing I'm going to do with him is I'm going to have him do a move action, which is cost 1 adrenaline. I'll put that on his card. He is right here. He's going to move up 1 2. And I'm actually going to have him shooting at this warrior clone. The reason I'm doing that, he's actually 5 spaces away, and the range on the team leader's M18 gun is 8, so he has plenty of range. If this guy had been here, because he would be over 4 spaces away, his special stealth ability would mean that the team leader couldn't target him, but this is a warrior clone, so we're okay with that. So his gun uses 3 black and 1 red, but he gives himself the bonus as well. So he's going to have basically 4 black dice and 1 red dice to try and take down that warrior clone. Let's see what happens. And he gets, plenty of hits. 1 2 3 4 hits. Team leader takes him down. Now, also, I forgot, that costs 2 adrenaline to do an attack action. Now he's up to a total of 3. He has 2 adrenaline left. This is a bit of a retro activity. I forgot that the M501, the rifleman's ability, the gun itself allows him a second free attack at no adrenaline cost on an adjacent target. Now I forgot to do that during the rifleman's turn, so I'm going to retro it right now. As you know, he blew away one of the warrior drone clones here, and he had a free attack at this guy. So he will get his 4 red dice and 1 black dice, and we will see if he actually can take out this rogue clone. And he does 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. In fact, his second free attack shot actually kills the rogue drone. And now that will end the Commandos' turn. Join me next time when we look at the Overseer's turn controlling the aliens, and we'll see what they're going to do.